Hello, and welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Michelle Schubert, the Director of Global Resources for International Literacy and Development.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, everybody. I'm Charles Pearson, and I'm a board member with International Literacy and Development that we affectionately refer to as ILAD. And we're just excited to be here this evening. We're thankful to be here tonight. We're thankful for you to join us tonight, to spend your time with us. And we want this evening to be interactive. So down in the bottom of the screen, you'll see a chat feature. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what you're thankful for. We'd love to, if you've got any questions tonight or any comments after watching some of the videos or things that you've heard us see, share with us and tell us as the evening goes along. We're inviting you this evening to be part of this transformational work that ILAD is a part of, human flourishing all around the globe. And in order to make that work possible, it takes two things. It takes people on the ground that are there day in and day out, doing the work, executing the mission, and it takes finances. It takes generous donations, people like you and I that are generously giving and investing so that this work is possible. And that's what it's all about, Michelle.
Absolutely, that's true. That's not just something that we say. It's absolutely true that transformation does not happen without people like you. And leading up to this event, we've been encouraging all of you to host watch parties for tonight's program, and that's because we have 3 $5,000 grants to give away to each of the 3 biggest or largest watch parties. And those watch parties that win the money get to allocate all of that $5,000 to any ILAD project of their choice. So a special thanks to those of you who decided to host a watch party. If you're hosting one of those watch parties, here's how you prove your party and get entered in to win that $5,000. So you'll see a number scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Text that number, text 3 things. You got to text a picture of your watch party, your name, and the amount of people present at your watch party. Okay, so have somebody in your watch party text a picture, the host's name, and the number of people present at the watch party. And we will let you know the winners of those $5,000 grants later in the program. We also have 5 $1,000 grants that will be given to 5 registrants chosen at random, also later in the program. And as Charles said, we would love to be hearing from you throughout the program. There's a way to comment below this video if you're watching on our website, and if you're watching on Facebook, you can, of course, comment below on Facebook. Charles, what is our fundraising goal for this evening?
Well, we have a very ambitious goal of $330,000 tonight, but I believe we can do it, Michelle.
Yeah.
I believe we can do it. So this is what our current battlefield looks like. As you can see, it's barren, it's war-torn, and we need some real heroes to step up and be transformational heroes to change this picture. And I believe that we can. We'll see how this story progresses tonight.
Yeah, and as you guys look at that, right now it looks barren and war-torn, but as we raise money tonight, it will transition into a flourishing field. So keep your eyes out for that. One bit of good news is that we've already held an in-person fundraising event, and we were able to raise over $35,000 toward this goal.
Fantastic.
So that's over 10% raise. So can we show that one more time? Can we show the 10%? The 10% is starting to flourish over on the right side. It'll kind of move his way over. So that's exciting already, 10%. In order to give, you can scroll down. If you're watching on our website, you can scroll down and there will be a giving form just beneath this video. If you're watching on Facebook, or if you're watching at a watch party and maybe you can't scroll down, you can scan the QR code up in the corner of the video. That will also bring up a giving form. Those are the 2 easiest ways to give, but you can also call or text that number on the screen. If you call in, we'll have a representative there to take your giving information, but you can also text your name and the amount that you would like to give, and that way we can just take that and add it real time, and we'll have a representative follow up with you in coming days.
Great. Hey, well, let's get started. We'd like to introduce a video to you that'll show some of our teammates around the globe.
Hi, I'm Abby. I work among an under-resourced language group in the Sahara Desert, and I promote human flourishing through helping parents gain literacy skills in reading and writing to be able to assist their children in their education.
Hi, I'm Daniel. This is Carrie, Micah, and Jade. We live in the Republic of Georgia. We promote human flourishing by developing technology for low-resource languages, which provides access to new economic opportunities and education.
Hi, I'm David Maximovich.
And I'm Natalie, and we do educational animation
and humanitarian work and medical training in Ukraine.
Hi, we're the Rohingya program in Dallas, and we work with refugees to promote human flourishing through education and social services.
Hi, I'm Chuck. And I'm Lawrence, and what we do is we travel the world helping impoverished communities by training people how to run a small business. It's a way to lift them out of poverty and lift their families out of poverty by creating a sustainable income stream.
And often these businesses provide local solutions, such as access to clean water.
Hello, I'm Jeff.
I'm Sarah. I'm Sevinch, and this is my son Emilka.
I'm Emin.
And we are working on a business development center in the South Caucasus.
Hey, I'm Abel.
I'm Michelle. I'm Mandy. And I'm Claire, and we promote human flourishing stateside while helping and supporting our teammates with their projects overseas.
I'm Joe Hoover.
And I'm Carol, and we work in an under-resourced language in West Africa.
We start libraries
and reading groups.
Hello there, I'm Jose.
And I'm Nikayla.
We're both preparing to work with refugees.
I'll be working in education and helping develop communication tools to help them cross language barriers.
And I'll be aiding with business development and currently doing graphic design for the whole organization.
Hello, we're Andrew Brumley, London Brumley, Stephen and Kit van der Linden, and we work in Indonesia, and we promote human flourishing through developing technology to help people be able to use their language online.
Hi, I'm Stan, and we're Team Harvest.
I'm Luke, and we work in the Middle East with an under-resourced language group.
I'm Amy, and one way that we promote human flourishing is by creating a written alphabet, and we're teaching the people to read it and write it for the very first time.
I'm Kimberly. One of the things that we also do is help promote business among the women in the community through a small business startup.
Wow, that is so cool seeing our teammates all across the globe. I was actually able to be with most of them, well, really just about all of them, at a global conference we had in Manchester, England recently. Now, this isn't everybody we have. ILAD has teams in 14 different countries all across the globe.
That's right. And now we are here with our executive director, Brenda Holland, to tell us a little bit more about ILAD, who we are and what we do. So hi, Brenda. Thank you for joining us. What is ILAD?
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Charles. Hi, everyone. Just a little bit about ILAD. ILAD promotes human flourishing among under-resourced language communities through economic, educational, and social development. We work with communities to help them find local solutions to local problems, and we are holistic in our approach. We are interested in the transformation of mind, body, and spirit.
Wow, that's fantastic, Brenda. But what does this actually look like?
Well, in some contexts, like in rural West Africa, it might be trunk libraries. That would be trunks full of all sorts of literature written in the local language. And then they're given to the villagers, and they allows everyone to have access to information that they can understand in their own language. And then in other places like the Middle East or in Central Asia, it might look like micro enterprises, such as women taking and making and selling jewelry. And this increases their economic stability for the families who are truly living in abject poverty. And then in the country of Guinea, West Africa, it's a cashew demonstration farm. There's people teaching people how to grow cash crops, and this increases their livelihoods. And then they're also doing nutritional crops that can help people have healthier lifestyles. I could go on and on, but basically, ILAD's projects are getting at the heart of problems in tough areas of the world.
Yeah, and Brenda, I'm excited to ask, what are some of the highlights from this past year, 2022?
Oh my goodness. There are so many exciting things happening in our projects. So I'm going to try and limit it to just a few. To start out with, in Dallas, we just launched a refugee-focused business development center. And this is to support refugees who want to start small businesses. And then in our Human Language Technology Center, and our technology project, we launched a language data collection app, which is super exciting. This is bringing under-resourced language speakers access to digital information and digital tools so they aren't left behind educationally, technologically, and economically, but they can access information and use digital tools just like you and I do every day. And then not only this, they can now add their voices and their wisdom to the global conversations happening in these spaces. To give you a little idea of what in the world language data collection means, what we're talking about is an app that's a mobile app, and the one that we've just launched in Indonesia is specifically for languages that are written. It's a mobile game app, and the local speakers can take their mobile phone and they can read in Indonesian the word, say, tree, and they read that in the app, and then they turn around and they type that same word in their own language as they play that game. But this doesn't work for languages that are not written. So we're also building an app that collects oral language data. This can be used together to create translation tools that go from speech to speech or speech to text, text to text. And so that all works together to help build these tools. Another really exciting tool that we just launched in a village in the Caucasus Mountains is a Google tool called Woolaroo. This app is using AI image recognition software. So the local speakers can take a picture of an item like a tree with their phone, and then they can add in the written form and then also the spoken form of the word into the app. Okay, aside from human language technology, we're also working in Dallas in our in-home ESL classes with the Rohingya refugee community. We've been doing that for the past 3 years, and it's just continued to grow and grow. And we've had more than 20 Rohingya refugees earn their U.S. citizenship this past year. And this is super important for a community who has been considered without any citizenship for decades.
Yeah.
And then also, we have libraries in rural West Africa. I mentioned those earlier, and we just can't even keep up with that. I think currently there's 15 libraries that have been launched, and we have another one ready to launch this month. And then in Togo, where I used to live, the middle school and high school are providing safe education for rural kids who wouldn't otherwise get a chance to go beyond elementary. And in fact, the middle school just received the honor of being one of the top schools in the region, with 100% of their middle schoolers passing the national test to advance to high school. And then I wanted to point out that the girl in this picture, her name is Cynthia. When we started the middle school, she was an 8th grader, and she has just now entered university this year. So she was able to go through middle school, high school, and to university. And then also in Togo, we have our literacy program. We've got 145 students enrolled this year alone, which is super exciting. And over half of those students are women. And then also in Togo, we have our Business Development Center, and it's really taken off. And it's providing education and mentorship to people who want to start a business. We've had 2 cohorts that have started with participants that have successfully started businesses, which means they're providing for themselves, their families, and even their neighbors.
Wow, Brenda, that is amazing. That's a lot, and it's such exciting stuff. Thank you for all that. So this Business Development Center, it sounds really cool, but I'm sure to some of us it's kind of nebulous. Can you describe like what kind of businesses are coming out of this program?
All right. Well, we'll talk about just a few. One of the most successful businesses is a cosmetic manufacturing and retail business that's operated by a Togolese woman. And then there's also a chocolate processing company, a mushroom farm, and then also an event center. And these, among others, are operational, and they produce income for their families and their employees, and then they're serving their communities. And then for those of you who joined our virtual event last year, you might remember we talked about helping a local man start a well drilling business. We really wanted to find a way to provide clean water for rural areas that's in a way that's sustainable and replicable, because access to clean water is a real issue in Togo. Well, with the help of many of you from last year, a man named Jacobi was able to go through the business development program, and he successfully launched this well drilling business in July. We are so grateful to many of you who helped make this a reality.
Yeah, Brenda, I'm not sure people really realize how true that is. We mentioned earlier in the program that it takes two things for ILAD to work. It takes people like Jacoby, and it takes generous giving, investment to make that possible. And that's just a great example of all of that coming to life. So thank you so much for being here with us this evening and for sharing with us all these exciting updates.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Bye, Brenda.
Brenda. And so remember, in order to give, you can fill out the form below this video if you're watching on our website. If you're watching on Facebook or if you're at a watch party, scan that QR code up in the corner and that'll bring up a giving form onto your device as well. Another way you can give is you can call the number that's scrolling across the screen and a representative will take your donation information. You can also text that number. You can text just your name and the amount that you would like to give, and we will add that to our updates live, and a representative will follow up with you in the next day or two. So also remember that we have that grant money to give away tonight. And for some of it, we had asked you again to put together watch parties. And the 3 biggest watch parties will receive $5,000 to give the ILAD project of their choice. And so in case you missed it earlier, in order to show your watch party, in order to get your name in there and see if you're maybe one of the top 3 largest watch parties, we've asked that you have somebody in your watch party take a picture and text that number on the screen. Take a picture, send the host's name, and then also the amount of people at your watch party. And then we can figure out who the top 3 biggest watch parties are, who wins that $5,000. And so Brenda just mentioned that well drilling business, and that really was an extremely exciting project to see come to fruition this year. And actually, Brenda and I were able to go to Togo earlier this year and follow up and see the drilling in action. So check out this video from that trip.
Your idea on paper, you don't know how good it is.
Entrepreneurship is crucial to the livelihood of so many people around the world. People have imprinted in them a vision for their life, and ILAD seeks to help them unlock that vision.
The Business Development Center is a section of the NGO which targets entrepreneurs.
It's been quite successful in helping prospective business people have the tools they need to grow and then blossom. Jacoby was in our first cohort here in Togo. Jacoby is a rock star, and he is really helping ILAD manage the Fundraiser Sans Frontières, which is water drilling wells without borders.
Ame bitopo me kekeme eme me mo bina jibe mana ne chamba te piramidja e mawa me same batempa esi.
Water is life. Wherever there is water, life is possible there.
A lot of rural communities struggle with getting clean water.
Statistically, around the world, a child dies every 15 seconds from drinking contaminated water.
When people don't have access to clean water, they go to river, and the same river, the animals, cows, goats, all wild animals come and drink that same water.
Sigene mpo fika mo le pe fule etenaroji ye we bina ni ebazi tinebe mine mpo possibility ma pera continue possible.
Now I suggest to him, this idea is a good business idea, but you need to go to Business Development Center program. And he went through the 3 phases, and that helped.
If you are a mi ba mo pe never forage na amede mi keji egbe mi keji maka mi abu système test. Il a gba fion mi et les formations mais avec Mila wo ngame entreprise ora inko.
When we did Jacoby's phase 2, we got into his spreadsheet, and what we made a determination was that we could drill 4 for-profit wells, and with the profit, we can drill a pro bono free well to a village that can't afford it.
He looked around and saw how he could help others come out of that precarity.
How nonprofits will have to raise money, drill a well, raise money, drill a well. No, this is sustainable and carries itself. And in fact, we do believe that this is scalable.
Mopokpo sikera sinya miame nukimelo mere pomo be akeketa. Alulu diji. Ajo namajo akeketa. Rabe susunyo elemesi.
ILAD is helping Togo people to be able to find the solutions to their own problem, a local solution to local problems.
I hope you moved as I was by watching that video. My whole life, I've just taken clean water by turning on the tap for granted, and that's an incredible story.
Yeah, yeah. And you guys all probably noticed our theme tonight is calling all heroes. And as Charles already said earlier, it takes two things. It takes people willing to do the work with boots in the mud. In Jacoby's case, this is quite literal. And then it takes generosity from people like you at home who are watching this. So tonight we told you we're trying to raise $330,000. And we're inviting you to be our heroes tonight by donating.
Yeah, Jacoby is certainly quite a hero, isn't he? But so are you. All of you who gave sacrificially to help make that water drilling business a reality, you're heroes too. Thank you.
Yeah. And speaking of heroes, we've actually had a number of donations that I would like to report on. From a handful of donors, we've had $165,000 donated.
Woohoo!
Oh, the updated scape. So, oh my goodness, we're actually, oh, there we go. See, there it is. Wait, it's changed a couple times. 60%. We're at 60% raised. So that's about 200,000 of the 330,000 that we need. Thank you to those generous donors. Thank you to those of you who have given.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys for helping us move towards our goal tonight of 330. These donations, as we said, put us up to about 60% of our goal. So, all right. Well, in case you missed it, in order to give, you can fill out the form below this video if you're watching on our website. If you're watching on Facebook or at a watch party, please scan that QR code. That will bring up a giving form. And you can also give by calling or texting the number on the screen. If you call, a person will take your giving information. You can also just text your name and the amount that you would plan to give.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, you know, Michelle, the job of bringing flourishing to these communities is really big. Too big for just a few of us, right? But what a difference we can make when we all join together in giving in this way. I mean, and it's so exciting to be a part of something that's so much bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's very true, Charles. Together, though, we can make a difference. Earlier tonight,
Ooh, what is that noise?
Oh, okay. Well, that is the sound of your donations doubling, because for the next 7 minutes, all donations will be doubled up to $65,000.
Wow, fantastic.
Absolutely. So again, fill out the form below this page, scan the QR code, text or call in. Those are the ways to give. So please, 7 minutes, or now it's a little over 6.5 minutes to get your donation doubled.
Yes, please, everybody, give.
Absolutely. Okay, so as we were just going to say, Brenda earlier in the program mentioned that we were able to, in 2022, grow our refugee program to include an entire new section, a section for business development, which includes helping refugees start their own businesses. And so to tell us more about this, we get to have Nick Corshane, the Dallas-Fort Worth Business Development Center manager, with us. Nick, I'm happy you're here with us tonight and very excited about the work that you're doing. We want to hear about the program and what's going on, but first, could you explain to us what is a refugee?
It
seems like there's a lot of feedback. Let's see if we can fix that.
No.
Let's see.
Let's try it this way.
Oh, is it working now? Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So thanks for having me. We get this quite a bit, so it is worth clarifying who refugees are. A refugee is someone that has fled, is unable to return to their home country due to a well-founded fear of oppression or persecution due to their race, religion, nationality, political opinion, membership in a political social group, anything like that. You can take, for example, someone that's working with the U.S. military in Iraq or Afghanistan against what somebody coming against that their home country would be. Now, those who arrive in the U.S. as a refugee begin their process overseas through a super strict vetting process, and that can take anywhere from 2 years up to 2 decades at times, and an amazing amount of background checks and meetings before they're ever granted permission to then enter the U.S. During that waiting time, many refugees are in camps which are crowded with typically not enough food and very little opportunity for education or work.
Hi, Nick. Thanks for being with us. So once the refugees get here and we are able to help them with the essentials of housing and the basic food needs that they have, what in your opinion and experience, what do refugees value and need most?
It's a good question, Charles. Really, I think they desire the ability to hope. They're amazing people, but they've experienced a lot of trauma and a lot of hopelessness. So even just enough stuff that it makes just the ability to hope seem impossible sometimes. With everything they've been through, study after study that I've researched and we've read has shown refugees to be an amazingly resilient people. Part of that resilience is shown in their entrepreneurial nature, though. As we've been doing this work and talked with refugees themselves, we've learned that they deeply desire to have safety and stability for their families, which I think we can agree is something we all want. They see the U.S. as an amazing place. It's full of opportunity, and they're proud to call it their new home. So within that dream, also, like many of us, they see starting and operating their own businesses as a path towards that American dream that in many ways can become the realization of that safety and security for the first time for many of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So then ILAD's business development program, what is it that it's offering that gives that confidence and that hope?
Yeah. There's a ton of really cool stuff going on here in Dallas, Fort Worth. And we're just starting to see some real impact on people's lives through the work we're doing. And I'm grateful to get to be a part of it. So I'll try to keep it brief. Our business development center, sometimes you'll see us call it a BDC program, provides these entrepreneurial refugees right here in our backyard with the tools, the guidance, the support that they may not have as they're trying to navigate the ins and outs of business ownership in an entirely new context for them as they figure out what it means to be creditworthy and compliant with their business. I've had grown men cry. I've had others give me bear hugs just at the mention of a possibility of this kind of support. And there's a lot of things that make this program unique. But one of its greatest assets comes from the one-on-one coaching that our two amazing coaches, Dalal and Vion, provide.
Nick, that is so cool. And for all of you tonight, we've got a special treat. We're actually going to have Dalal and Vion on with us, and you're going to get to hear directly from them. But before we do, Nick, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we should have Dalal and Vian joining us here shortly. Here we go. Hello, Dalal and Vian. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you. We are glad to be here.
All right. Dalal, can you describe for us what it is like for a refugee arriving in the States, and how specifically does ILAD's business program offer help to them?
Okay, so I'm Dalal. I work as a business coach for refugee who speak Arabic for ILAD and DFW. So Michelle, you asked me this question. I want you to imagine for a second that you have gone through a lifetime's worth of trauma over the 5 to 10 years running for your life, and you are now resettled here in US, and you bring with you nothing but your family, the bag you are like the clothes in your bag, and the trades you worked in for decades back home. Maybe you owned a small business in the past and you think that trade could bring you stability and safety to your family for the first time in the long time, but you don't know English yet. Where do you go to set up your business, and who can help you? What the heck is the credit score, and why is that very important to have your own business? So these are all barriers that my family and I and other refugees faced early in our lives here. And for me as well, when I came here for the first time in 2014. That can turn a small thing into a huge thing. And scary problems that you don't know how to take care of that. And we are here as a coach, offer support and guidance in this journey, and offer the tools in language that the way the refugees understand it, so that they can be confidently and stably, successfully open their own business. Thank you.
Wow. Dalal, thank you. First of all, your English is so much better than my Arabic. I'm really super impressed. So if we understand this right, you're acting as a business coach to help refugees understand. You're guiding and supporting them along to help them understand how to do business and credit and finance in the United States the way that you have.
Yes, Charles, exactly. This is what we're doing.
And you're doing it in their language of Arabic. That's so wonderful.
Yeah. And I think it's worth noting, Dalal herself is a business owner here in the States now. So she's able to really kind of walk in the way that ILAD wants to see every project around the world, local solutions to local problems. We want to see local people doing it and then helping other people accomplish the same things.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dalal.
Yes, thank you,
you,
Dalal.
Michelle.
So before we hear from Beyond, can we get a quick update on our giving?
Yeah, let's get a quick update if we can. Let's see here. Oh, wow. Woo! We are at 75% of the way to our goal. Thank you guys for giving. Our goal tonight, again, is 330,000, and we're sitting at about 75%. And so that's exciting. Again, please scroll down below this video to give in the form below. Scan the QR code up in the corner if you're unable to watch it on our website. If you're watching it on Facebook or at a watch party, scan the QR code. And if those don't work for you, you can call or text that number on the screen. If you're texting, just let us know your name and the amount that you'd like to give, and we can add it to the total real time. So Dallas, Fort Worth, where we have this program and where Dalal, Vian, and Nick are all working, Dallas Fort Worth is one of the top 4 locations for resettlement of refugees in all of the U.S. And for me personally, it's hard to understand really the immense value that Dalal, Nick, and Vian are offering to refugees. So Vian, I wonder if you could help us understand a little bit better. Would you mind telling us a little bit about your experience as a refugee, Vian?
Yes, I would love to share my story with you. So I remember the daily sounds of bombs. I remember the sound of our neighbors who were victims of those bombs. For 10 years of my life, the sky was orange because of the bombings. that arouse the surrounding desert. Imagine 10 years of sandstorm, 10 years of flight or fight. At the age of 15, my father, who is a well-known professor in business, was chased down by local extremist political parties as they worked to stop people for being educated. My father had fled to country to Manama, Bahrain, for his safety, where he stayed there for 12 years and sent us money, which was enough for basic needs. After the Iraqi American War, life was little better. Then I met my husband at my university and got married. 3 years later, in 2007, I had my only child. In that time, economically and socially, my country was destroyed. And then ISIS took over, and trouble events continued to happen in my country. A feeling of being afraid and scarcity. My husband at the time worked for the American forces, where he supplies them with tech equipment, and for that he was targeted. I remember the night when his partners and his cousin were killed, and a unknown number called saying to my husband, "You are next. Say goodbye to your child, say goodbye to your wife." The night when we had to leave all of our belongings and house to live with my husband's uncle, who also works with American forces. So we had a protection team lined up at the door. We couldn't get out of the house other than for food for 3 months. When we came back to our house to get some of our stuff, which we left, we found a completely destroyed house. Years of memories are gone. Another year goes by and the country doesn't get any safer. Our only child is now growing, and we didn't want him to have the same childhood as us. So we applied to an agency. It's called IOM. It's organization helping people go outside their country, which is a refugee program to the US. We were told to go to Turkey, where it's safer. So on a single night, we packed all of our stuff and some money that we borrowed from our relatives, plus the money we already had saved. We arrived to Turkey, waiting for a call back from them, from a refugee organization location. And we didn't indeed get the call, but with the news that the refugees organization location at Turkey had shut down due to an urgent reason. This was a big breaking point in our lives because we had spent most of our money with no results. We knew we couldn't stay at Turkey because we need a visa, and we couldn't go back to Iraq because, that would be a death. Our relatives in Egypt, being informed of the news, called us the day after telling us that there is refugee organization location in Egypt. Knowing that was our only option, we made our way to Egypt with so little money, not knowing what's next. We got there and we started looking for jobs since we didn't have enough money to get anywhere to stay. We didn't find a job because we didn't have visa, but our relatives, being great people, let us stay in their house. Then we were declared to travel to the US in 2016, and was a new chapter in our life where we have safety, where we are able to work in our own business and achieve our dreams. I was able to finish up my degree in business, which was always a dream of mine. We are able to provide for ourselves and live the life we have dreamed. and being able to help my fellow refugees that I am working for ILAD. Even though we have faced troubled staff, I am proud to work with an organization helping people who speak our language and who are offering help. We are reminded that not everyone is against us, that there are people who are for us, that God is for us too. You all who are watching this can do this for refugees. You can offer the help they need. Thank you.
Beyond and Dial, I'm speechless. Your stories are just so incredible, and we want to thank you for your transparency. You're inspirational ladies. We are so happy you are here. We are so thankful you are working with ILAD, and it is inspiring to see the hope that you now have again for the future, and the good news that you are giving back and helping others because you can relate to what they're going through and where they've been and where they've come from, and helping them transition and giving them hope. So we're proud of you, we're thankful for you, and thank you for being with us tonight.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dalal. Thank you, Beyond. Okay, so again, to give, you can fill out the form beneath this video if you're watching on our website. If you're watching on Facebook or at a watch party, scan that QR code and it'll bring up a giving form. You can also call or text the number on the screen. If you call, there will be a giving representative there. If you text, you can just text your name and the amount that you would like to give, and we can add that to our total in real time. So let's see.
Michelle, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news.
Okay, let's start with the bad news, I guess.
Okay. So the bad news is we haven't yet realized our full matching of the 65,000 grant.
Oh, okay. So that is bad news and actually a little sad too.
Yeah.
So then what's the good news?
So the good news is that we have been given permission to offer to continue matching donations dollar for dollar until the program ends tonight, which is in just a few minutes. So that's a good. We can keep matching toward that $65,000 grant.
That's great news. So those of you, I hope everyone watching heard that. We're extending our matching grant to the end of the program tonight. So up to 65,000. Help us reach that goal of matching up to 65,000 before the end of the program. And like Charles said, just minutes away. And your donation really is pushing forward transformative work.
Yeah, so I just want to encourage everybody in the following way. I hope you have been as moved tonight as I have been. Life-giving water, changing water that's changing lives, and so many other things that Brenda and Nick and others have reported on, and to hear the stories of Beyond and Dalal, I've never had to go through anything close to that, right? I'm so very fortunate, so very blessed. I'll share with you this one quick story. A few years ago, one of our teammates was sharing with me that they really needed a new vehicle, that their vehicle was just on the brink of breaking down and dying, and they depended on that vehicle for transportation to do the work that they were doing in the part of the world where they were working. And I just was so moved internally. I went back and I talked to my wife, Pam, and we're a family of 4. And we just purchased a couple of new cars, and we have 5 cars between the 4 of us. And I thought, here's somebody that needs a car, and they need money to get that car. And I was just really moved. Pam was really moved. And we gave in a very sacrificial, generous way to help that teammate buy a new car. And I can tell you, one, how good it made me feel to be able to help in that way. First of all, that's not my stuff to begin with. I'm just using it for a while, right? But 2, it still made me feel really good to share it with others. And I can tell you, I've never once missed that money. So please, I'm asking everybody tonight. You may have come in thinking, oh, I'm going to give, this amount of money. Can you dig it a little deeper and give sacrificially a little more to help us achieve that goal and help us continue to change lives, like the lives you've heard about through Jacoby and Dalal and Beyond. So please be generous, guys. Please give tonight. Help us achieve our goal.
Thank you for saying that, Charles. I totally agree. I don't think I've ever regretted giving money to a good cause. So thank you for bringing that up. While you make your donations, let's reveal the winners of the grant money, shall we?
All right.
So let's start with the 5 $1,000 grants. So I have the names of everybody who registered for this event. And I wrote all of these by hand and practiced saying your name multiple times. So hopefully I will get these names correct. And I'm going to draw 5 names out of this jar. If I say your name, that is your cue to call or text the number on the screen. Let us know that you're present, because you do have to be present to win the $1,000 grant. And then let us know what project you would like that money to go to. So again, I'm going to call out the names. Let us know if you're that you're present and which project you'd like that money to go to. And you can do that by
right. Drum roll, please.
Eddie Geiger. Eddie Geiger is the first name. Caleb Nicholas. Caleb Nicholas. Les Kime. Les Kime. Elizabeth Brantingson. Elizabeth Brantingson. And then last name, Mike McFarlane. So we have Eddie Geiger, Caleb Nicholas, Les Kime, Elizabeth Brantingson, and Mike McFarlane. If your name is in there, please call or text that number on the screen.
Okay, fantastic. So again, if Michelle just drew your name, I'm going to make sure you get this straight. Make sure you call or text the number on the screen and let us know that, 1, you're present, and 2, which project you want the grant money to be given to. So please do that. Call or text right now if your name was one of those 5, and let us know which project you want the money to be given to. Okay, now for the $5,000 grants, Michelle.
Ooh, all right.
To win these, we ask you to host a party and invite others to join. We ask you to text us a picture and give us the names. Well, I've got great news. We've got 3 winners, and the winners are, the winners get to decide what $5,000, we have 3 $5,000 grants, and the watch parties 1, 2, and 3 will get to decide which project they want to assign these $5,000 grants to. So party number 1 is the little party of 17. Yay.
People at the watch party.
Party number 2 is the Depke party of 16. So that was really close. And party number 3 is the McFarlane party of 11. So we had some really great parties out there with people watching. And yes, thank you. So here's what we need you to do. We need you to, again, text or call the number below and let your group decide which project they want to assign the $5,000 grants to go to. Okay.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. Thank you. That's so fun. Thank you to those of you who participated this evening. I'm really proud of my church. Those, my friends, the Littles, are one of those parties. So that's fun to see. Let's take a final look at what the heroes have done tonight. Let's look at the final list for giving. Can we get an updated 80%? We are
right.
80%.
We're really close. We're really
close. Look, instead of a war-torn field, it's starting to be cultivated. You can see plants are starting to grow up in that landscape. 80%. It looks like we still have a little bit further to go to reach our goal.
Yeah, just a little bit further, but what a great percentage. And we're so thankful for all of you who have been with us to spend some of your time this evening virtually. Thank you. Remember, you can still donate afterwards. Some of you may be moved, but you want to, need to talk to somebody else, or you want to think and pray about it. You can still give afterwards. And we ask that you consider doing that and share the link from this evening with others. Is the evening being recorded, Michelle?
Yep, it'll be recorded and it'll be accessible on our YouTube, on our Facebook, and also here at this link. You can still
fantastic. So you can share the link with the recorded program with others. I've already had a few people ask me, they couldn't make it, but to, send the recording if we could. So thank you all for joining us this evening.
Yeah, thank you guys.
For being part of this great, exciting work of human flourishing that ILAD's doing all across the globe.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for being with us. I do really hope you see the vital role that you guys all play in these projects that you've heard about this evening. You can continue to give at the same link. You can continue to give at that QR code, etc. Please, as Charles said, pass on the link to your friends. And for now, though, we will say good night. We'll say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Goodbye.
Goodbye.